Bitwave. I'm still streaming on Bitwave. So we
Oh,
are
okay,
still
okay.
streaming. We're just streaming to 6 people on Bitwave instead of the other 10.
Gotcha.
I'll just
I
start
mean, it's
again.
good timing. It's good timing because I mean, like, it's almost time to wrap it up anyway.
Yeah, no, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what I mean. But
Like, I'm still trying to find the right equipment to put in for all my shit, and like, I found some stuff that looks really good for about 1,500, but at the same time, I might just go with a few friends of mine to help me put it together.
Why? What are you getting though?
So I'm looking to upgrade my computer from the fucking HP, whatever the fuck it is, to like either a MacBook so that way I could download the studios, or I might go back with another HP so I can re-download FL Studio because I really like the way FL Studios works
Hmm.
compared to GarageBand.
Well,
Because
yeah, go ahead,
GarageBand,
GarageBand,
fucking
yeah.
shit. Like, GarageBand's more like podcast editing material than it is music editing.
Yeah, no.
I
GarageBand's just a basic thing. Yeah. No, I'd look into Ableton and Reason or Pro Tools, other ones as well, because FL Studio it's not. A lot of producers. I don't mind it, but a lot of producers up their nose at it and say that it has a lot of issues. It's just not. It's
I
not it.
I predominantly use FL for my stuff, and I say it has a really good skill ceiling. If I was gonna talk about like game mechanic wise, but you know what I mean. Like, it's easy to get into, but you can do a lot with it if you know your stuff. So I would recommend FL. It's a good like beginners kind of entry level into DAWs, and then once you get a little bit into FL, then shop around and see if you like the other ones better.
Right, because I'm not like saying that I'm pro level at producing at all. Like I'm still trying to figure out my own shit. But like I really like the way that whenever I was using FL, the way that my audio would sync perfectly on it, because it was super easy to like it was super intuitive for me.
Hmm. Sorry, I'm just trying to get back into the dashboard for the rest of the stream. Are we
But
live?
like
Yes, we are.
one of my favorite ways to look at music is, instead of putting like your own personal attachment to it, because when you do that, you're kind of biased. So like looking at it objectively, like, hey, is this actually good? And then you could figure out what the fuck you did wrong or fix the mistakes that's in it, instead of like focusing and like, this is my creation, my baby, there's nothing wrong with it, it's absolutely perfect.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't.
no,
Yeah.
No
there'll
one
always
ever
be
says
something
that I
wrong with
know
it.
of. Most people know what their music is and if it's got issues.
I mean, there'll always be something wrong with it. I mean, you can go make a record or a demo, go back and listen to it 1,000 times, and always find something that can be corrected.
Well, like, the reason why I haven't put out anything like on SoundCloud or anything was when I was in Georgia, I was hanging out with a couple people that were helping me produce it, and the demo that I had, I just didn't like. Like, there's just something about it. Maybe it was like the lyrics in it, or like the way the instrumental sound. There was just something about it that I didn't like, so I didn't want to put it out.
Yeah, well, I would focus on getting better before you start putting out stuff, because then everyone's going to judge you on what you put out. So might as well
Yeah, I would
get
agree
Yeah,
with
better.
that.
right. Like I'm like when it comes to putting out stuff, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that like I have my standards, and like I want to put everything into it so that way like if I release it, I can at least say like, hey man, I did my best. I did everything I could to make it as perfect as I could, and then look how people receive it, and if they don't receive it as well as I thought, go back to the drawing board
Nah,
and
I
just
just move on, and because you always when you're making music, dude, you're gonna start off and it's gonna you're gonna think it sound great, and to you it's really good, and to a few other people will be really good, but then you move on, start making better music, and then all of a sudden you sort of go to this next level of making music. Then you go to this next level, then you go to this next level, and then you sort of get to the point where you can do exactly what you want to do really quickly because you know how to do it and you're good at
Right,
doing it.
and that's kind of why like this album I've been working on for like 3 fucking years is because like when I first did it, basically one of the first few times I've fucked with it, I was just like, this isn't good. Like, I can do better than that. And then the second time I approached it, I was just like, all right, this is better, but it's still not good.
Yeah,
So like,
I
I'm
would probably focus on doing new songs rather than try and go back and doing old stuff. Eh.
right. Like, I've completely written a whole new fucking track list of shit.
Yeah, just do that. Yeah, and rather than trying to, because as you keep doing it, you're just gonna get to next level. But yeah, I'd just focus on getting software that, professional software that you've actually paid for, because it's the way. If you want to make really good music, you need really good software, and you have to pay for the software. There's no way getting around that. If you're gonna try and cheap out, or trying to get some pirate stuff, or try and make music on GarageBand, then it's gonna show in your music. So
That
Right.
being said, though, in terms of DAWs and stuff, I've found, at least personally speaking, that it's not really so much the DAW, but more so your proficiency with it and like your ability to use
nah,
it
fuck
correctly.
that. Look,
Eh,
Blue Waffle would make much better music if he stopped using the free version of Reason. Because if he used Reason 10, there's so many better instruments that just make such better sounds. Like, if I didn't have
I
my Antidote synth, I'd be completely fucked. Like, my music would sound totally different, and it does. You listen to
no,
my
I'm
music from
more
a year
saying.
ago, listen to my new with my new rack extensions and the new software that I use, and you can tell the difference straight away. And the fact that
I'm
I use
I,
hardware.
I'm more saying like when you own it. I'm not talking about like trial versions, but like if you own a DAW, no matter what, if it's Reason, FL, uh, Cubase, whatever, I feel like you could still make good music no matter what you pick when you actually get it. Free
Yeah,
trials
well,
are
you
like
just need
obviously,
to
yeah,
learn. Yeah, you need to learn it.
yeah.
No, and it's not a free trial. It's because with Reason 4, up to Reason 4, you could just download it for free and it was great. But then you had to start paying for it. But the
Uh,
difference in and you can't install VSTs, you can't install rack extensions into Reason 4. So your sound is just
uh,
going to be completely crap compared to what you can do, because all you've got is a subtractor synth and a Maelstrom and maybe the Thor and a sampler, and that's about it. Like, it's pretty basic compared to what there is now. It's so different.
Yeah, I heard
You're only going
Reason
to be
was
able to
really
use
good.
Yeah, I use Reason. It is really good. But if you're going to make metal and stuff, then you would want to, it'd be for certain types, and you'd want to be a bit more electronic and stuff. Eh, it depends how if you like looking at it, like twisting knobs and having all the controllers and everything in front of you, then that's the way to go.
Right. So like, here's here's a question. Like, out of all the music you guys have made and put out there, like, what would be your favorite song that you've ever made?
Mm.
uh, it really, I guess it's kind of depends. Like, I mean, if we're talking Corpse God, probably Needleworm, just because it's like early and it's old and it's kind of shitty, but I kind of like it like that. And if we're talking like beats and stuff, I would say the Photon Bomb, lo-fi kind of hip hop beat I made. I'm pretty fond of.
I like It's Not True, that Daft Gun song, where it vocodes Ralph's voice and starts playing it to the melody where it's going, "It's not true." Where it hits that point, I really like it. I didn't when I first made the song, but I do now. But I make more parody stuff. I don't have time to really make that much normie shit. That's what I want to do with the hardware only shit, and it's not really going to be of the same quality because it's going to be hardware only. So to me, that's sort of restricting, but it's going to be different at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I had more time, I'd make more normie stuff and I'd spend more time on music. But I listen to all of my shit all the time. I probably play my playlist where like EarJuice music, and it has all the music. Where is it? like here, the EarJuice, this EarJuice music list with 45 songs or whatever. It's missing a few, I think, from the Channel Binks channel and BitChute and that. But anyway, I probably play this playlist more than anybody else because I really like it. I like some of those songs.
I would say I listen to my music not so much because I enjoy all my stuff, but I like to learn from like past mistakes and kind of grow past them. And listening to things on end over and over again, you really start to hate your own music in a way. At least I've found,
No,
and that lets you pinpoint. That lets you pinpoint like not hate, but like it lets you be overly critical of your music. Like, I shouldn't have done that. This I could do differently. Stuff like that.
Well, I do that when I'm
Right.
building up the song, so I make sure I get it right. Like Autistic and Gay, once I'd mastered it, and it had these sounds in the mix that once I mastered them, they were you could really hear them, and they were just looping, and they just got way too repetitive, and I fucking hated it. But once I changed the mix and that, it was all fine. Now I'd listen to that. I could listen to that song 10 times in a row and still be grooving around because I like what I do. So.
Well, like, see, like I said, like I haven't really had time to actually put instrumentals behind lyrics and stuff because I've been moving so goddamn much. But like,
Yeah, but you need.
I've
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
back.
you need to.
I've gone
Start
back.
getting software and things like that.
Right, that's what I'm working on. I went back into like a few like books of just songs that I wrote the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was I on when I wrote this shit? And I was just reading through it, and I'm like, God damn, I'm glad I didn't decide to keep pursuing this fucking song, because like I remember this, I read this song and I was so fucking baked. I can guarantee I was smoking pot at the time because it was a song about chicken nuggets. Right. And I'm just like, why the fuck did I write this? Like, what the fuck was going through my mind?
Yeah, but I
And then I
made
remember.
I made a song about chicken, deep fried chicken. It's like a porn love song for deep fried chicken.
Oh no, this was like the
That
song.
sounds interesting.
The song that I'm talking about would sound like a fucking commercial jingle. Like, I like these type of chicken nuggets.
Yeah, no, that's why I made it. It ended up in a the short film's still yet to be filmed, but it's actually for it. It's going to be used as a TV ad. That's why it's got. When you look at the music video, you'd be like, "Oh wow, that looks really high." Like highly produced, like it's been done with a proper green screen in a studio. That's because it was. That's a music video I made, but there is a second version of that for this advert. Yeah, it's exactly what I did. Yeah, it's not really an ad. It's really an ad. Weird universe thing, but yeah.
Well, me and a close friend of mine, we've been talking about
Penis.
putting a project together. No vocals, just me on the drums, him on the bass, and him running the bass through a processor. Basically, just kind of like a psychedelic, slow grooving jam kind of thing.
Right.
And basically, like also here and there, like sampling spoken word stuff over it, like by guys like Timothy Leary and Charles Manson, and just really random stuff. But the one thing, and that's one thing like I was gonna ask about, like when you're gonna be doing like that kind of music and you want to sample spoken word over it, like is there a specific program that needs to be used, or like I mean, how is it easy? What's the easiest way to inculcate all that together?
What to do? Samples?
Well, I mean, most DAWs come built in with samplers that you can use to trim and cut pieces of audio. So if you have a decent DAW, like FL has that built in, you could just do it like that. Just download the MP3 file or WAV file or whatever, load it up in, and then just trim out the part that you want to sample.
Yeah, they all have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to cut samples and that, then just use Audacity. I showed it on stream last week. Got to like the last 10 minutes, and I literally showed people how I do it and get the soundboard samples really good. That I then put into the music software, so they're all nicely cut before they go in there. But I can show you without playing the sound, because if you guys talk, it would go through the mic.
So the question is, to EarJuice, does Bustin' make you feel good?
Yeah, of course. It's my favorite. I like that song.
See, like I love like when you could just sit back and just goof around with just writing like the dumbest shit you can think of,
Oh, well, you'll
because
love
that's how you
Reason.
get
Yeah,
like
I do that all the time.
right.
That's what it's
Like
good for.
that's why that's how I get my creative side like going. Like I'll listen to some like Weird Al Yankovic and then just start fucking writing like the dumbest shit.
Yeah, well,
Like I
that's why
could
you need the software because, you know, you're just talking about concepts and stuff. You need to get your computer good enough to run it and then just put in, you just need to put the money in and buy the software. Here, I'll get rid of the sequencer
right.
because we don't need that. Because this, all I do when I make music, I just come and sit down. There's so many songs that nobody's heard because it's all just loops, unsequenced stuff. Because I don't worry about the sequencer for my until I'm happy with all the sounds and I go, okay, I'm going to sequence this into a song. I do this at least 4 times a week where I just sit here on the computer and just make a bunch of loops. So you guys are not going to be able to hear this just because I'm in a VC. Basically, this is how, there's a few ways that you could load your samples in, right? So let's say you want Alex Jones talking in your song, right? This one has him saying full on satanic attack, all sorts of shit. I'm going to be able to hear this, but you guys can't. I'll turn off auto. So, you know, you could load your samples up into a drum machine. So this is drum machine, right? Just does hits, but instead you're getting it, just getting Alex Jones to say they're demon possessed or something. And then you just go down to this line tracker and you would say, okay, I want him saying, because you are the devil here and here, like a snare. And it will just loop over, and then you can grab this sample and you can put it here and sort of make a rhythm out of people talking or out of samples of Charles Manson. The other way to do it would be to turn it and put it in the sampler, which basically, so this has samples that you can put in. This is a bass line, and then you just hit run and it just loops it over and over and over. And then you can
It
sort of play
turns the
around with
frickin' frogs gay.
and you can sort of play around with the things. But it's great for drum beats and things like that, where you don't need much change. And then every now and then you could like cut one of the bits up and flip it around, or do a filter or something so it sounds a bit different at the end of a bar. The other way to do it is just go to your sequencer, right? Add an audio channel.
It turns the friggin' frogs gay.
And it's whoop, I can hear myself. As long as you know the BPM. So look, I can go to samples, right? And I can go to these ones here. Music kit. 100, and see how it says 100? That means 100 beats per minute. So you just set this at 100 beats per minute. That's important, otherwise it's going to be out of time. Find the sample that you like. It's like, oh, I really like this lead here. Import it into your sequencer. There it is, perfectly in time, right? But let's say you don't want your song to be 100 beats per minute. You want it to be 120. I just speed this up to 120 and it time stretches it out without changing the pitch. That's how great. Blue Waffles Reason 4 will not do that. All the new doors will do that. It's really good. And then, say you want to loop it a bunch of times, so you just copy and paste it, just like you would any other thing. And now I've got this loop playing that was 100 beats per minute, now playing over 4 bars at 120 beats per minute. And that's how you load in samples into a DAW. There's you could even turn your sample into a vocoder, or you can turn it into a synthesizer. I did that the other day. If you look up how to make Easterlabs great again, what I did is I got a grain sample synthesizer, loaded in a patch, and what that does is it plays the waveform so fast that it turns it into a different sound, but you can slow it down so you still get bits. And then here, instead of loading up a nice string or something, you could just load in Alex Jones saying it's Satan time and turn him into a synthesizer sound.
Let me ask you this now: like, if you just say like we recorded the music, like record the music first, obviously, but then we want to like drop, and then of course go in and drop all this in. Is there a way to like set triggers for it? Like if you know where you want it to go at like a specific time, is there a
Yeah.
way to?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, that's what the sequence is for. So you just move this along. So say, okay, I don't want this. I want a bass line to play here. So you load your bass line. At the moment, if I push play, it starts saying "Because You Love the Devil." I'll just mute it. Sorry, it's been really fucking annoying. Yeah. So that's what the sequence is for. So you just sequence your song in. You would sing or record your guitar straight into here. Look, I'll show you. You're not going to be able to hear it. But I'm going to sing to a click track. This is going to sound horrible. Just wait. I'll bring this over.
EarJuice like sticks in the butt.
I can't even hear the sound. I don't even know what the sound is. Because I just loaded up something without actually listening to it.
So I've started researching and looking into a lot of these programs, and so I'm still really learning like how they all
Most
work.
of the doors have the sequencer and all do the similar sort of things. It's more just learn one of them and stick to it. Just learn one, stick to it. I like Reason. It's probably better for electronic people. All right, I'm going to record something into a click track, so it's going to be perfect in time. Here I go. Big fat dicks. Ginger likes
Oh fuck you, you fucking
big
dirty
fat
Jew.
dicks. That's what he wants. All right. So that's
I'm gonna
all
rape her
perfectly
in
in
the
time.
face.
Perfectly in time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that as a loop. So it's only doing in between those bars. We'll just call it document 1. Done. And that's how you would record. You just record everything into the sequencer. All right, ready to listen to it? I'll put it in stream submissions and then I'll play it on stream. Here we go. I should have added a beat, but I don't want to be fucking around too much because people want to go home. All right, here we go. We're going to play it. Big fat dicks. Ginger likes big fat dicks. That's what he wants. There you go. I kind of got the end bit a bit wrong, so it doesn't loop perfectly, but otherwise that would loop over and over and over and over and over. And then you could add a beat to it and then add your bass line and just build it up over time.
That was great. That's a song in itself.
Well, yeah, I could make that.
At some point,
I didn't save it, but I could make that into a song pretty quickly. I could build
At
that
some
with
point,
the bass line, then bring in the drums, bring in my vocoder saying "Big Dicks," da 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 da, or saying in the background.
At some point, we're gonna need to do a collaboration with EarJuice.
A collab. You need to bloody actually get some software so you can actually make music to start with.
Yeah, I got some shit in the works. A buddy of mine might be sending me his computer because he just got a new one and it has FL.
Oh yeah, FL's alright. Otherwise, Reason Essentials, it still runs VSTs and that. It doesn't have all the software that Reason has. It's like 160. Ableton is what most people will try and get you to buy. If you want to do band stuff and rock band shit, I would, yeah, I don't know. Most people would use Pro Tools when they Skullkid. Most
doesn't really matter.
bands use Pro Tools.
I use FL. It's pretty much the same thing. You just
Yeah,
gotta.
You're weird.
I mean,
you
Pro Tools
listen
is
to
a little bit
fucking-
more expensive.
You love listening to people with what do they have? Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. No,
Whoop. Sorry.
Retard bud.
I would say anything really like FL is pretty good baseline for if you just want to record a couple of things. The only thing that you really need to do is if you're going to record band related stuff, I would recommend downloading Pod Farm. Line 6 makes it. It's a amp emulation kind of thing for both bass and guitars. And
Reason has those built in as the basic software. You don't even have to pay extra.
Yeah, but Pod Farm's good stuff either way if you want something to sound good.
Fight,
So
fight.
So what about using?
You can go, Skullkid, if you want to
hang
go,
on.
just go, man.
Oh no, I'm fine, man.
Otherwise, I can end
Sorry.
the stream and then just keep talking to these guys.
No, I thought I muted my mic. I'm sorry.
So, like I was saying, like he wants to use like a foot processor, like a foot pedal.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, like these programs like have that same ability, or could we?
Yeah,
could
yeah,
he
yeah.
still
Oh,
use?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I wouldn't bother using your foot pedal. I would probably put the guitar in flat, like I did with my synth. Like you heard the difference. The synth was just my little 555 synth was just noise, and then all of a sudden I put it in the computer, add the effects in the computer, and it starts going. It starts making all sorts of different wonderful noises. Yeah, I can show you that.
Unless it's like something that you would put before the chain into the amp, yeah, I would definitely not just like if it's like say you have a really nice drive pedal that you put on every time you play a guitar into an amp, then yeah, maybe because that's in before you put it into the amp itself. However, if it's like a delay pedal or something like that that's post chain, then yeah, just work with the DAW stuff.
Yeah, because if you add delay while you're recording it, it's just gonna you're gonna get all out of time and sound horrible. All right, so here is my loop that I've added. This is Quentin Loves Big Fat Dicks, the song. So I've just added it back in as a new project because it'll go straight in at 120 beats per minute. Look at that, works perfect. And then this is my audio track here, right? So that's what it's coming through, that channel. And then here it is up in the mixer. There it is there. So I've got auxiliary effects, so I can already give it a few echoes. And then if I want to add effects, what I would do is I'd just right click on it, go to effects, and I can put a gate on there. I also want a retro transformer and give it a bit of scratch. Oh, wait a minute. Now I want a big fat echo. Alright, now I want a modulator. Now let's compress the shit out of it with a really good compressor. Now let's give it distortion. And then let's give it a chorus.
Can you also like...
There you go. Look at all those effects I just added. I could keep going. I could go until the end of time in digital. So that's why, yeah, you just put in a flat recording and then add your effects digitally. Because look at all of them.
Can you run it through Can you run it through an amp on these programs?
It's an amp modeling software. Like on Podform or this, that's
Sorry,
it's like it's a digital amp.
Okay.
Yeah. There is some noticeable quality differences between analog and digital amp stuff, but unless you're a stickler for like getting something to sound really nice and like analog, it's not that bad.
Yeah, there's the soft tube bass amp. Where's the line 6 ones? I know they're in here somewhere.
So it's got like the actual like manufactured amps you can run it through.
Yeah, but it's just a digital version of it.
Yeah.
Does your program have the orange amp on it?
There's an orange amp kind of model sim kind of thing on Podfarm.
Otherwise, you just you download VSTs. So you can buy VSTs and other effects and put them in your program. So a lot of these are the ones built into the program itself, but some of them are actually purchased. So I've bought them and then put them into my program. So everybody's Reason software is unique because mine is going to be totally different from Joe Blogs because he's bought totally different VSTs or he just has the base package. Well, I have all these other things. No, it looks like they actually removed the line 6 amps or I just can't see them or they're somewhere else.
Because my buddy was actually using an orange amp for a while and was getting amazing sound from it.
A lot of amps do
I
a
knew
lot of things.
I knew he wanted to get a new stack because he had to sell his orange stack not too long ago.
Yeah, I think you're worrying too much about concepts and specifics. You just need to get the software and have the base program, and trust me, you'll just experiment with what you've got, and then once you start knowing how to use it and what everything does, you'll be like, okay, now I need to go and get this effect. Oh, I think I might get a better amp that's digital, and go and get that. But yeah, you'll find that your software, whatever you buy, as long as it's professional, is going to be as good as it's going to be pretty damn good if you pay the right amount of money for it, and it's not GarageBand. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this now. As far as like drums go, like actual drums, not a drum machine or anything like that, how easy are these programs?
Well, you could record it in, but I wouldn't bother, because someone's already done it for you, and that's why the drum machines are so good. The drum machine don't just play. Yes, it plays electronic drum hits that were made in a computer, but it also plays some guy that sat in a really good studio with millions of dollars worth of equipment, right? And he just went and hit a bunch of snare drums, and they recorded that all day, and then they did all the hi-hats, and then they did all the snares, and then they've put that in your sample packs already. So when you open up the software, and you've got drum kits from all around the world from the best studios. So unless you have a drummer and he has all the mics set up, then you would just do it. You could just do it with the drum machine, and you're probably going to get a much better sound anyway. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. I mean, you guys can keep asking questions, but let's wrap up the stream, and you guys can ask us after the stream. Because I think
I might pass the fuck out. Yeah, I'm about to pass the fuck out.
Yeah, I'll hang around if you guys want to chat. If anyone else wants to jump in and keep hearing this, then go for it. But let's wrap up the stream. Thank you, Ginger Jesus and Temple of Light, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, chat, for being around. Sorry, I don't know what happened. It wasn't an OBS thing. It seemed to be a Bitwave thing. Just cut us off for some reason. It has been a long time. I'm still surprised that there's quite a few people watching us at this point. But oh well, have a good one. This is called A Chicken. It's a porn song about chicken as the outro. I'm going deaf, guys, just so I can play the song and then I'll come back. Thanks. Here we go. Here's the song. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, I was wondering if you were around.